I saw it later. Okay. Okay.
That's gonna work. Okay.
Yes. Fantastic.
So, officially doing the introduction is, I know a lot of you know who Scott Hampton is, but had a chance to sit and talk with him a lot about his creative process. And again, a lot of the questions and stuff I get into Fortuna Found is like, how do you even get started? Like, you see the end result of what Scott's flying back there, and people want to do that, and so they've been asking questions. And I figure, instead of giving like a roadmap or I'm not sure how he's doing it as a puzzle, it's just kind of an insight into Scott's mind. So with that,
we start.
You start with your beautiful. You did bring cue cards.
I told you I had to have cue cards because I can't remember everything. And Vanna White, Maryland.
Yes.
Hey,
Yes. Maryland just built her own kite, which I hope is coming as part of the.
It'll be a part of the sampling, and so this hopefully won't be too much of a ramble, and it could be quick. But I decided maybe I'll make it long, really long.
You'll seem more creative.
So, the creative process. It was supposed to be the creative process, and then you changed it to my creative process. But it's what works for me, right? Each of you already have your own creative process, your modus operandi that you will always go to. You have a method that you use to create something. So this is just how mine is. I got to go right off the cue cards. Creative process is not a mystical, elusive force. Everyone has creative ability within them. It's not exclusive to a select few. And I brought her as an example that she's like, I can't do it. I can't draw. But I says, yeah, you can. It's there. You can do this. So with that, do I want to tell the story? You want the long story or the short story?
Long.
All right, long story. Who said short? Who said short? No. Long story. Long story. In college, I was 35 years old, taking an AP class with high school students. Okay, U.S. history from the 1800s to Vietnam, and the professor was from UCLA on loan to Utah State University, and he would fly to rural areas and teach his AP classes to AP students. And I was taking classes, so I worked at night. I had to take day classes, AP students. Great. And he did not have any visuals for this. It was all lecture. He didn't use a podium. He was in a theater stage. We were on a stage, and he just talked back and forth. And his thing was, don't worry about dates. I don't care about that. I have the book, the $50 book that you, at the end of the class, you turn in and you get $8 back for it, right? Everybody has that book, right? He says, you can read it if you want, but I suggest you listen to what I'm saying and take notes if you want, and we'll go from there, right? And so he says, the test is an open note test, right? So if you take good notes, you'll do well. If you don't. So I did well in the class. I got a B, which was like outstanding for me. It's like wonderful. There was one A in the class, a genius girl. There was one B, me. And on your transcripts, you get the grade point average of the class. You had a 3.0, Mr. Hampton. Wonderful. The class average, 1.5, okay? 1.5. And so this poor professor got run out of town because you cannot fail high school students, right?
3/4 of them.
You can't fail me, And so it's like, sorry, he says, this is the real world. This is college. You signed up for AP class. So they didn't renew his contract through the University of Utah, and he went back to UCLA. Anyways, his thing was, take notes, So we will have an exam at the end of this. I suggest you take notes, okay? And everything I say will be, or possibly could be, on the test. Anything and everything will be on the test, okay? Right? So, this is not a building class. That's Ron's section, a design class. It's not a graphics class. This is just the creative process and how it starts and goes for me. It's not instantaneous. I don't just come up with this, oh, I'm going to make a kite and boom, it happens. It takes work. It's a journey. It takes dedication. And so the first thing we're going to start off with here is, go ahead and tape that on. And it goes up here. So this is a puzzle. I had to get it figured it out. So I want to make a kite. Whoa, that's pretty challenging, right? Next, it's just, okay, what am I going to do? I got to get ideas. Where does this one go? This one goes here. Never mind. We're moving it. We're winging it as we go.
Magnets are awesome.
Awesome magnets.
You like those?
Hey, don't tip us over.
Okay.
Soft
Oh,
and reusable.
Yeah. Oh, but wait. But wait. But wait. This, the creative process, except for a select few, is not linear. Meaning you don't get the idea and all of a sudden you go straight line to the end and make this beautiful kite, right? It's not linear. It's like this. Da, 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 I'm going to go, oh, wait, I got to start over. That didn't work. Okay. And then eventually it gets there, right? So it's just not a linear process. That was in the notes. I had to make sure I had that. Oh, and it's not concrete sequential. It's what we call random abstract. Okay? It's concrete sequential. You do this, you do this, you do this, and then you have a beautiful kite. Random abstract means you're doing this. You're going all over the place. So now we get to, let's go back to our ideas. Where do we search? Here's this wonderful tape. Okay,
where do we go?
that's fine.
Oh, shoot. Nope.
Well, they got these massive magnets, massive magnets.
Where? Right here?
Not yet. We're not there. Not yet, Vanna. Not yet. So all of us get ideas and you know, from patterns or shapes, colors, textures, and it's all stored in here, and you need to start storing that somewhere or sketching it down. I do it with little pieces that says, I can use that piece from Ron, I can steal that from Scott, oh, Lindsay's got something, I can use an idea, and you just steal ideas from everybody. You got to plant the seed basically in the head, jot down your ideas. Nobody's heard of Pinterest in here, right? I hope not.
I use it.
Oh, wait.
When you steal
Come on now.
when you steal from everybody, it becomes research.
Exactly. You don't steal from one. Yeah, you don't steal from one, you steal from every. But when I'm coming up with these ideas, I have to ask myself, does it hold up? First of all, has it been done before, right? And if it's been done before, how can I change it? Dang, the Astroglide's been done before. How can I make the Astroglide different, right? I change it. So, but does it hold up? Is it worthy? So the sketchbook, I have to go to the sketchbook. That's next. To jot down ideas. 90% of my time in making kites is here. I spend all my time in a sketchbook doodling. Ron does the same thing. I don't know if, Scott, do you do the same thing? Some?
Very little.
Yeah,
Very
and it's
little.
not part of your process. And for me, it's the biggest part. So I just jot down ideas, not detailed, rough sketch, and they're thumbnail sketches, and then eventually something stands out. Something will pop and say, this is the one. Okay, and so it's like, yes, I'll color it in. It's like, okay, now I've got this idea. The idea, next, pops. You get the idea. Whoa, this one worked. But sometimes you do 100 sketches until you get one that actually works, right? And just go on and on and on and on. So once I get this idea that's like, yes, this sketch is going to work.
Senior Skinner has a question for you.
No questions till later, senor. Yes, sir.
No, it was a comment.
Comment.
When I do have a sketchbook running, it's usually been laying around for months. I find the best thing about a sketchbook is going back to it 6 months or 6 years
6
later,
years, exactly.
and turning to a page and saying, that one.
That one.
Why didn't I do that?
Exactly.
If it
And
holds up over years, you have a feeling it's probably good.
sketchbook number 23, okay? So I have 23 of these sketchbooks that I fill up, plus file folders and everything else. And you're right, 6 months later, 10 years later, you go back and you look and say, Lindsay can print me the part that I can make that now. I can get that made because there's a part that will tie it all together. So that's, I like spending all my time there. I copy images over again, so I do a sketch. I like jewelry for some reason. I like to look at jewelry for shapes, right? And that's where a lot of the ideas come from. And so I just repeat the image, and then I just color until it hits which one's going to work, right? And I just try all kinds of different textures, different patterns, lots of different colors, till I find the one that works. And then it's like, there's, the light bulb's already hit, but now this is the one that's going to make it, right? And so we go through that.
What are you coloring? She asked.
That's probably marker and pencil, Prisma. Okay. Yeah, marker and Prismacolor. And this is just more sketches, right, of jewelry or whatever, just shapes. And because I've done it long enough, I kind of have a general idea what shape's going to fly and what doesn't. You just get that general idea.
Scott, grab that one.
Finished?
Yeah.
Hey, we're halfway through. Are you excited?
I was going to say, we're making a circle.
Man, we are just cruising here. Let me see. Blah, blah, blah. You don't care about how long it takes to develop the ideas, but there's an incubation time there. It needs to grow. It needs to develop. And for me, that could be like a day. I got to get this thing built. I got to finish this thing. It's like I'm onto something here. Thumbnail sketch. Yeah, we're done with that one. Let's go refine the image. So that refine the image is just taking those sketches with the colors and making all the details, and then transferring that to the next step. So refining, just again using Pinterest or iStock.com to use their resources to come up with the graphics or I don't know, where's an example? I didn't bring it. Anyways, fine-tuning the image. Next step, what is this? Transfer. Everybody has a different way of transferring. Some people just draw freehand-it, which I also do, but I just use an overhead projector in the garage. So I take my thumbnail picture, that size there, I project it onto the a poster board or illustration board, project it to the size. I don't pay much attention to the size. If it's this big, that's 2 meter size, then I know this, I can get 2 meters for the spine. I try to keep everything under 4 feet wide. So when I project it, I'd like, yeah, okay, I don't want to have larger than that because then I have to have ferrules and it's harder to transport.
So you're always using essentially a portrait layout of your kites?
Yes, I just take this, right? Not the colored version, but I just take this outline and I'll put that on a piece of poster board, or the poster board on the garage door, move the projector to get the size that I want, and trace it. Most of the time, opaque projector. Well, this is just not the old ones we had in school, right? Yeah, not a transparent, opaque projector. I don't. These guys, yeah. We got that one done. Transfer. Yeah, we got that done. We're cruising.
Why do you put it onto a poster board as opposed to just putting it onto the kite face?
Onto the fabric itself?
Yeah.
Because I use it as a template to cut out, but I cut out, yes. But it's good. You can do it if you're going to do white, yeah, just put the image right on the fabric itself. That works. Not yet. We'll do this. Not yet. So this is an image that an artist named Rich Skipworth, I believe it is, he has these Greyhounds that he likes to make, and I saw the picture of this little cartoon, and I said, I can make that into a kite. Man, this is going to be awesome. But I had to make the little one first. The proof of concept, right? How can I do this? And I made a prototype of this out of fabric because I wanted the ears not to twist and flap and whatever. So it's like, okay, I made a small one out of...
In flying? Sorry, is that a flying proof of concept or a...
Yes, no, this was trying to fly, too small. But I tried it.
And that was my next question. You're going to go to a small flying proof of concept always? Or
No. Okay. This was just, it takes 10 minutes. Let's make this real quick.
Gotcha.
So some pockets on it, done, right? And let's see,
Did it fly?
barely.
So pockets on the paper?
No, onto the, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get
Hang
there.
on,
Yeah, we're gonna get there. So, this is drawn from the transfer onto the, in the garage.
Size.
This one actually was just hand drawn, but to get the idea, this is the template for the prototype. So the big size now. So I spend a lot of time with the prototypes because I don't want to go back to the house. It's rare that we get good wind, and when I go out there, right, I wait weeks. I have lots of prototypes waiting for wind, and I don't want to have to go back home and change the bridle. Right? I don't want to have to go home and, oh, I need to burn a new hole there that's 2 inches lower because this one's too high. So this was cut out from the template. I hot cut all my edges. I reuse all the pockets on the prototypes. I don't trim the thread. I don't care. This is quick, and I learn a lot from this. You learn all the things that can go wrong, right? Originally, this had these little, kind of see them sewn back here, the pig noses, what we call them. And what was happening there, it was causing it to twist, right? Too much twist. So I had to go to a Lindsay fitting that tightened it up. That worked well. I draw the image on to make sure that I don't have a spar going right through where I don't want it to be. Again, that's the prototype stage, just trying to figure out what works. Again, I tried different bridles. So this is one that had 2 bridles on it. It had multiple holes. I just burn holes all the way through there. Take it out to the field, and within seconds you know if this is going to work. It's like yes or no. Okay, that one didn't work. Okay, let's try this one. It's too high, it's too low. So adjust, and you find what works. How much bow? Originally I had the bow line out here on the tips, and it didn't look right. It was too much. So then I had to go to the middle in here to get the bow for it. And that worked. It stopped it from twisting as much. So the ears were rudders. So it was doing this kind of thing, right? Little ruddering going on. So then from this stage, we'll just set him down, pull out the real one. So now, since the prototype is already made, I do the real one, and except this was the demo prototype. But normally I would take those spars off and they transfer over to this, so I don't waste spars. And actually, because that's not hemmed, those spars are that much longer than this one, so I know they'll fit. It's just like, okay, I just have to trim off an 1/8 of an inch, and it'll work. So it's just transferring, but I don't transfer the pockets. These are all brand new pockets. I pre-make all these pockets, the Velcro tensioners, everything's pre-made because I want to finish the kite as quickly as I can. I don't want to spend time, oh, I gotta go make pockets or whatever's. So this one flew. Here was the first time it flew a couple of days ago. And so that's basically the process that's happened, is I've got the prototype and now I built it. And we're done. You know, it's like boom, 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 boom. Mary Lynn's, so her process is, set that one down, was a little different. She knew what she wanted at the end. She's like, I want this moose, and I want it in the trees, and I want a sunset, and
I want a silhouette.
and she said, but I'm not creative, I'm not an artist, and you know. You know, la la la, wah 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 wah. I says, man, we got this thing here. We got this. We can do this. Go find your image. You know, go to Pinterest. Go look up moose in the sunset silhouette. Wow, there's only 10,000 of them out there, right? Oh, but I want one that's like this. Oh, great, we found one that the hoof is up, right? Or the leg is up. Perfect, we've got that. Well, I want this kind of tree. And I'm like, well, that could be a challenge, you know, appliquing, but we can try it. And so I kind of steered her towards just basic stylized, simple trees. But I want grass. I said, great, we'll put some grass in. Well, how do you do that? So this is just sewn on. It was all cut with a soldering iron.
And they're loose.
And they're loose.
Yeah.
It's all loose. So it's just sewn along the bottom of it there. So it's all loose. And then I taught her how to do the painting technique, and she was a perfect student for that. She figured it out real quick. And so this is what she put together, and she's like, well, you know, I wasn't creative. And obviously it works, right? It works. So her process would have been different, but I walked her through and says, we need all of this stuff, and I'll show you how to, you know, refine your image. I'll show you how to transfer it, and then we can get it made. This is just another, you know, you see a lot of butterflies on rokakus, and it's like, well, let's take away the rokaku, and let's see if we can get the shape itself to fly. And Ron and I like doing shapes, right? And I like challenging myself sometimes with, whoa, can I make it asymmetrical and still fly? And that's a challenge, because asymmetrical, you're right on the edge of failure all the time. It's like, could fail at any time. So this was just another one that, again, I have an idea. Yes, could I put it on a rokaku? Of course. Can I try it without that? Let's see what happens. And it flies, so I'm very, very happy with that. Again, a prototype was made several times to go through to get to the final stage. And this is old school stuff, so it doesn't have any of Lindsay's fancy fittings. This was pre-Lindsay days.
Yeah, the good old, yeah.
The good old stuff. And the 100-pound bowlines, right? Do we need 100-pound bowlines, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Because our
Fingers don't. But you have this cool little tensioner that Ron comes up with, right? You slide this little tensioner. It's like, oh, this works. So now we have 30-pound line, right? Just little stuff. Anything else on prototypes? No. Nothing special there. Okay. Build it. Let's see. Yeah, I think we're going to wrap that up. Yeah. Oh, I think that's it. I mean, that's quick and clean and over. Everybody has their own, you know. I don't have any. Oh, and the test will be Tuesday?
Yeah.
Right? Right. The test will be Tuesday.
Scott, if you have zero artistic ability, you don't draw, you don't, no. I've seen her artistic ability.
But she had zero, she
I had
said.
zero.
But she knows how to cheat.
Well, and I sewing, I had background because I quilt. But yeah, no, I cheat Pinterest, and he says sketch it. I can do a head and a body with little stick arms.
It was all right. Yes, it was a beginning, and you know, the more, we all know this, the more you create, the more likelihood you're going to make a masterpiece. But you have to take that first step, and you have to start creating, right? And that's all it is. You've got to trust yourself. I can't draw. I have no artistic ability, but you have access to Pinterest.
So would you suggest I work like on a single color, pick a really cool kite design I want to make first and go with that before all the art?
I would say, you know, if you want to build, you got to start with the basic shape. Just build with the shape, you know.
And
Find
know the shape's going to work.
a
which
ginky.
gives you success.
A ginky will work, you know.
Yeah, so
It's like,
that's exactly. It's like let's start with a shape. So you know, mine is just the graphics, and but what's funny? So he can sketch. I cannot sketch. So but now in my head, I've got my first shape in mind, and yeah, and it's hard because Scott's like, well, sketch it for me, and it's like I And but anyway, but I have found some images that are similar, so that as I go forward, and again, probably will do the prototype, because then you're not wasting your time and you just ruined this all this fabric and ruined it, and it didn't work.
If it's not an existing platform. So if like I have one template for ginkies or different sizes of ginkies, but when it's a unique shape like this, it's prototype for sure. Ginkies, you just knock them out. You know, cube kites, you just knock them out. You know, boom, boom, boom. The only thing that changes on that is the graphics. Maybe it's not there. I don't know where it went. Anyways.
Well, and again, like on mine, so you didn't have the spar, so I didn't want the spar going. It was best going through the moose, you know. Oh, okay, it's covered. So that we had to fiddle with. Right. But again, you know, it's like, yeah, here's the ginky. Let's cut. That would look best on this.
Yeah, her shapes, you know, is it a poster ginky or is it a regular ginky? And there is, you know, the design elements and, you know, things to think about. You know, I kind of said, well, maybe you want a little here and a little here and not trees all the way, right? You know, just give her some ideas of that to make it a little more interesting instead of just filling it with trees. So Thad, you can do it, man. Sorry. It's not exclusive.
What's the easiest kite to make and start with?
Easiest kite to make and start with.
Ginky, just being
Well, I think
up.
a sled kite, you know, is pretty easy. I mean, but are you talking sewing?
Pretty forgiving.
You want to sew?
Usually.
I like ginkies. That's me because they're
good
fast.
pliers.
They're quick. But I don't know, a cube.
I thought about that.
Cubes are quick. Yeah. Oh no! Vanna!